patient, in essence, not complacent. Block the banquet, stop the computation. I'ma make the coda, fools just wanna make the quota. They can't rock around here, they need baking soda. This a hydra, no way they taking over. Lay them below the basement with snakes and cobras.
This is Shawn Crystal. Catch the Inkpulp podcast on PharcydeTV Wednesdays at noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Come hang. Peace. This is the Inkpulp podcast. This is the Inkpulp podcast. Comics, hip hop, life. Welcome to the Inkpulp podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Crystal. Today we have another free chapter, a sample, if you will, of an episode of Inkpulp Instruction. Now, Inkpulp Instruction is something I created with my partner Alan, where we film, we create, I call them episodes. They're instructional art videos, but I call them episodes because there's so much more to them. This is a completely unique learning experience. I promise you that. I crawl into the head of the artist while they're creating. And I ask them questions as they're creating. I don't really crawl into their head. And it allows you, the viewer, to feel like you're inside their head, seeing how they work, seeing why they are doing what they're doing, understanding why they use certain tools, why they make certain marks, how they approach certain things. It's a one-of-a-kind learning experience. And it doesn't just focus on the art, but it focuses on the artist. So I've got a bunch of these out now. Right now, as you're watching this, I've got 5 episodes out, 6 and 7 coming very shortly after this podcast gets released. And then in 2022, we'll be releasing another 10 every month starting in February. So today's sample chapter is from an episode we shot with Tommy Lee Edwards. Tommy's a good friend. Tommy's also one of the most amazing artists I've ever come to know. And he's arguably one of the most amazing artists in the world when it comes to comics and visual development. So it was exciting to get this episode. And I'm really happy with it. I mean, this is where we started. I know I'm releasing this as episode 5, but if memory serves, this was the second one we shot. So check it out. Enjoy this little snippet, this free preview. And then in the description of this podcast episode, you'll see a link for it. And if you click that link, you'll see the 5 episodes that are out now. Episode 1 with me. Episode 2 with Eric Canetti, Episode 3 with Jim Mahfood, Episode 4 with Tommy Lee Edwards, Episode 5 with Jeff DeCal. So that's what's out now. 6 and 7 are 2 episodes I'm putting out. I'm putting out one on my painting technique. Episode 1 is more of an instructional theory on how to ink with line. And this one, episode 6, will be my painting technique that I'll walk you through the whole process. And I'm also releasing the first of these shorter form videos. So the episodes are like 4 hours long. And at about $100 an episode, you're getting your money's worth. So I'm also releasing some smaller episodes that are more laser focused to get in, get out, get you some information quick. And those are going to be obviously at a different price point. So next year, look for full episodes and shorter episodes with our guests as well. So please enjoy this. If you click the link to get to inkpulpinstruction.com, you will see there's an area to join my newsletter, and in doing so, you'll get a free lesson emailed to you immediately. And check out the episodes that are there. Get yourself one. Give it a try. We are building. We're not going anywhere. This is the start. We're nearing the end of year 1 with this, and I've already planned out year 2, and we're not stopping after that. We've put too much in this. I believe in this too strongly to just let it fade. So have faith. Inkpulp Instruction is here to stay. Enjoy this free sample, and feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments. If you have any questions or anything, I check, I answer. I appreciate all of it. See you soon. Peace.
Alright, I think for now, yeah, there's a couple of these. You know, it actually kind of helps that, like, I've done work on this car, and actually sort of it helps to know, like, kind of like what I'm drawing a little bit.
Yeah. So you know the exact car you're drawing. You know that car.
Yeah.
Because you've worked on it.
Uh-huh.
See, that's what I mean. Like, you can just freehand it every time.
Yeah, but I could do that with a brush.
Exactly.
So, but sometimes, like, I might just do a line like that here or there, you know, and then do
I can see what you're saying. It gives you a structure.
But yeah, it does also look very, I don't know, that looks kind of shitty to me. So let's just, I don't know, it looks doesn't look like it would look in real life. Like, it looks like a comic book drawing. It looks like,
that's the Tommy I know. I can't pretend to like, I understand what you're saying, but I can't pretend to think like that on my own, because like I think your mind on an artistic level is working at a much deeper level than mine.
it always takes a second to break in a new brush, you know?
Yes.
So right now it's hard, it's stiff.
So you don't put any water in your brush?
Nah. Should I?
You do what you do. I always put some water, but I'm using Kolinsky hair brushes, so I want to make sure they're preserved. So I put water in it so that the ink won't dry in it.
Right.
And kill the brush.
Maybe that's why my brushes don't last.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Oh well. So I'm gonna have my reference here with me, and the reference really helps build my confidence, which I think I really need when I'm inking.
Okay.
So.
And you dip right in the bottle like that?
Yeah.
No inkwell or nothing?
No.
All right. You're an anarchist.
What do you mean? What's an inkwell?
like a little.
This is the ink right here.
That's not an inkwell. That's the jar of ink. See, for
yeah,
right,
with a hole in it.
You do.
I'm learning stuff today.
He's a savage.
All right. Well.
You're an animal.
So also with this paper, you can see what I might do is someone block off like an area.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's part of the lift. That's lifting the car. That's what he's sitting on.
Right.
That's how I know Diaz is he lets me use his lift and to work on my car, and then I ended up and then now I'm working on other people's cars for him in like trade, you know, so we trade help with each other.
So how do you control, or I guess do you control the amount of, like, how wet your brush is?
By this maybe?
Okay.
Yeah. So
because you do have areas where the brush is working drier and then somewhere it's working a little wetter.
Yeah. So I know that, like, this is sometimes it's funny too, because like when I'm doing certain comics, I usually color my own work. So lots of times I I think in color.
Right.
So that might go towards your question of what about the color and the layouts? Does it throw me off? And sometimes I'll think about certain things thinking, oh, I can handle that value or tackle that separation of that thing in color later or something.
Right.
But on this, I'm not going to color.
You want that face of that
the lift thing?
Yeah, to be drier than the others. So you're drier.
Yeah, that's like a light side
right.
of the lift.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to have it be a little lighter.
And I mean, just you're your type of artist who there's very little white left on the page when you're done. Which I think is great.
Well, it depends.
Your range of value is rather extensive for ink work. So you do have white areas,
yeah,
and they're very specifically chosen, but you have a wide range of grays, light grays, blacks, all from how dry the brushes or how thin your marks are.
Right. All right, done.
Do you find, does the ink on this paper, this type of ink, dry fairly fast?
Yeah.
Like you don't run the smearing very much, I'm assuming.
Correct. Sometimes I do, but yeah, I might come in, I'm already finding some places where I might come in with white on this edge here.
Right. Will you wait for the end to come in with the white?
Usually.
Okay.
So, here I'm trying to indicate that this is shiny glass. So, sometimes it's organic, but at the same time sort of mechanical feeling because it's so perfect.
Right.
You know,
right.
the glass.
So what are you doing with the glass to help give it a reflective look? Is it just the shape of the black work you're doing?
Maybe. Maybe because it's like just smooth like that.
Right.
And also that's going to be completely open now. That all that.
The white.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching you ink. I'm realizing how much that scrap paper is used as a tool in your process.
Oh yeah.
And you know, just knowing your pages and like always seeing like where there's like a hard undefined edge where marks just stop.
Oh yeah.
I always wondered what that was. Now I see it's that paper.
I'm not as controlled as you are with that stuff.
Right, I was just going to ask you about that. Like, you just made a long line, and it was like, it. Whereas, like, I would have made it one smooth pull.
Yeah. I think because right now I'm not totally confident or warmed up.
Right, yeah. Does it take you, like, do you have, like, in my mind when I'm inking, like, I kind of turn off the worry button and just give myself like a good 5-10 minutes till I'm warmed up. And like when I start a piece, I won't go into anywhere important. Like I do the opposite of you, where when I'm starting a piece, my brush is going to be a lot wetter than I like it. So I look for big black areas where I can just sort of work the wetness out of the brush and get my hand moving. And like it'll take me a good 5-10 minutes till I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do that face.
Right.
But you jump right into that face.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing you, the bulk of your inking is like a flick type of mark making.
Like as opposed to like a straight or controlled?
Like I'll do a very, exactly.
Okay. I'm going to get my reference so I can see it better.
But even your rendering, like
so I can figure out the car better.
The rendering you do, the mark making is all based on like a flick motion. Oh, there you go. That's a nice long line.
Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, I think when you've worked with a brush for a while and you're confident with it, there's like a real grace to watching it. where I think people aren't see this and they're like, how do you do that? And I think that's one of the things I really wanted to capture and document. There's a bunch of artists doing it because I think it is a bit of a spectator sport. I've noticed at conventions. Do you notice at conventions that like the people who are inking like traditionally with a brush and stuff tend to get a little more viewership on them? Like people are stuck.
Oh yeah, like oh he's working magic.
Yeah. This is the Inkpulp podcast. This is the Inkpulp podcast. Comics, hip hop, life.